Genius for life. Coconut smoothies coming at you. Hello there, how's it going? Welcome to episode 97 of 15 Minutes of Genius. This is a great show because we bring on awesome entrepreneurs from all over the country, actually all over the world, and they just share their stories, and that's what it's really all about. So I am the CEO and founder of Genius Juice, and I try not to make it too much about our brand, even though the head is pretty much everywhere and the logo is everywhere. So we do some shameless advertising here for our brand. But again, we want to talk about the people that we bring on the show, the guests. Before introducing our next guest, I'd like to give a big plug to Mark Nicholas, Mark N. at ManhattanBeachStudios.net. He's the man. He's on his phone right now. I think he's on TikTok editing his next video. It's like a dance video, right? Of some kind. So yeah, he's multitasking back there. He's on his phone. He's on the computer. He's making me look and sound way better than I actually am. So he's the man. Make sure to reach out to him. Mark N. at ManhattanBeachStudios.net. All right, so our guest is Reid Pearson. He's the co-founder and CEO of Zeek Bar. And a little bit about the bar. It's a children's bar, so they're not competing in the adult bar category. I'm sure an adult can still have it because it looks really tasty. And it has, I think, at least almost 10 grams of protein or 10 grams of protein. I'll let him talk about that. It has less than 10 grams of sugar. Great for kids that are growing and super active. But again, won't talk too much, and I'll leave that up to him to explain more about his product and mission and story. Reid, how are you?
Hey, Alex. It's great to be here, man. Thanks for having me on. I told my wife I was on a podcast, so she thinks I'm important for at least a couple of days here if we can keep that going.
Exactly. I am here for you, man. I'm here to raise your relevancy. I'm here to raise the ego. I'm
Perfect.
Here to do everything I can to make you feel at your best. So
awesome.
Yeah, the bill will be in the mail. So
perfect.
Yeah. Right on. Cool, man. Well, thanks for joining us late. I mean, we're here. I know it's good that it's good that you're not like in New York or something, man, because it'd be like freaking 10 o'clock at night right now.
That'd be dedication.
Yeah, exactly. So so the fact is, you're from San Francisco. We're in LA here, not super far away, within a 6-hour drive or 45-minute flight. But tell us more. Interesting. I'm interested to hear more about this product because it's very different. You're not trying to compete against Cliff Bar and all these other bars. But I was wondering, before getting into it, what does Zeek mean? Is it a person's name, or tell me more?
Everyone always asks that. I need to get a better answer. We made it up. The truth is, we started with a different name and had actually a trademark issue with our first name. And so we went through sort of trademark hell trying to find a name that, obviously we liked for the brand, but was also available as a URL that we could trademark. And we settled on the word Zeek. And it's not anybody's, it's not named after one of our kids. It's not anybody's name. It's just a cool sounding word that we thought embodied sort of the idea of a fun, engaging and interactive kids brand.
Very cool. And Zeek does sound like a child's name. So because I see behind you, I see like a barrier thing. I was like, is that for a baby or is that for a dog? And so when I was thinking, is that for Zeek? Is that for like your baby? But not the case.
I do have a 15-month old. He's asleep.
Okay.
So he's not, I don't have him locked away here, and no, his name's Ari though. His name's not Zeek.
Okay. Middle name Zeek or no?
Nope.
No Zeek in the name.
No.
All right.
Now that you're mentioning it though, I think the next child's going to have to be a Zeek somewhere in there just to, you
got to complete the story.
Then I don't know what you tell to the first one though. It's like, all right, why did he get named after the business, Dad? What's up with that? So I don't know. You'd have to figure that out.
That is really, really tricky, and you'll probably have to rename the first child to Zeek as well to make your first child feel good. So you have two Zeeks.
Zeek 1 and Zeek 2.
Zeek
okay,
1,
I'll
Zeek 2. Yeah.
Thank you.
Zeek,
I got it figured out now.
Zeek Jr. and Zeek Jr. or something. Anyway, you'll figure it out.
Perfect.
Cool, Perfect. Man. All right. Before we go off the rails too much, you see that the issue is that I wouldn't call it an issue, but fun. It's a fun fact that I do 4 to 5 episodes in a row taping. And Reid is lucky enough to be my 4th interview tonight. So we're talking 7:30 at night. I've been up since 6:30 a.m., and 3 interviews in, and I'm doing emails between interviews. So like my brain is semi-fried, and what that does is it produces extremely entertaining content. So
that's what I like. Yeah. That's what I like, man. We get the loopy Alex. That's why I showed up. I picked the 4th slot.
Exactly, man. The loopy Alex it can be really funny or really disturbing. We'll see which way it goes here.
We'll see how it goes.
It's either going to be genius or total idiocy, or maybe a combination of the two. So we'll see. There's a fine line between crazy and genius, right? So
that's right. Someone said that.
Yeah, I think it was whoever it was. Maybe Steve Jobs. I don't know.
Steve Jobs. I was going to say that. Sounds about right.
Yeah. What was his quote? Like the ones that are crazy enough to change the world actually do. I think that's his quote.
Yeah, I might actually do it. Yeah. He had a lot of good quotes. It's either him or Mark Twain is basically every quote.
Yeah, exactly. It's a 50% chance to be either Mark Twain or Steve Jobs. Yeah. All right. So let's get into it, man, before we go off too much off the rails here and dominate the 15 minutes. And so let's talk more about your product. Tell us more about it. And we'll take it from there.
So I studied entrepreneurship in college. I kind of knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur for a long time. And I was coaching youth sports and saw kids were eating basically granola bars and cereal bars. And parents would always ask me what I recommended for a healthy snack. And so the more I looked into it, the more I saw the kids category in the bar space is pretty one-dimensional. It's dominated by a couple brands, Cliff being one of them, and they're all grain-based granola bars. Those are cheap, they taste good, and that's really what a kid's bar has become defined as. So what I decided to do about 3 years ago, and my kind of idea, my thesis was, what if we take some of these trends that have hit the adult category as far as getting more nutrition in there, some more protein, some less sugar, and we translate that into a kid's bar. And we attack the kids bar category. And so that's what we're doing. We're actually a pretty unique product in the space. We have the highest protein level. We have 9 grams of protein. And right now we have 7 grams of sugar, and soon we'll have 5 grams of sugar. Our formulation just allows us to go way lower on the sugar, but still keeping it all premium, all natural ingredients. So that's really what we've been focused on doing. And we've done it direct to consumer online first and foremost. Amazon is now our biggest channel. And then in June of last year, during the pandemic, we started selling into Northern California Whole Foods. So that's been our first kind of foray into retail, and we're learning that channel right now. So we're kind of just off and running. We think we're onto something pretty cool here and exciting, but we're just getting started.
Love that. So a lot of kids up in San Francisco. So it's a good. That's probably the worst statement ever. Like, there's lots of kids up, in different cities. It's such a blanketed statement. So going into let's go to online because I think that's where a lot of our viewers can get a lot of value here. You said you started online, right, with your bar?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So what's your strategy? If you can give us just the elevator, let's say it's an elevator going up to the top of the Empire State Building. So the longer elevator pitch, let's say 1 minute, 2 minutes, however long it takes. Tell us about your Amazon strategy. What have you done there to be successful?
Yeah.
Because it's a hard code to crack, being on Amazon. It's so competitive. Yeah. Is it just ad spend, or tell us more about what's made you successful there?
So backing up for a second, we started just trying to go through our website, and we saw, at least for our category, it was plowing uphill. I mean, with moms in particular that are doing the shopping, they're doing it on Amazon. So about a year and a half ago, we decided we were going to go all in on Amazon and just leave the uphill battle that was trying to get people over to our website and then to purchase behind. With respect to Amazon, my top level advice would be, there is no shortcut on Amazon, and people are always looking for the shortcut for Amazon. And I was that guy for about a year, talking to different consultants, figuring out, is it keyword optimization? Can I find the ad genius that's going to take us to the next level. And truthfully, the only thing that's made a big difference for us is creating a better and better product and getting more and more quality reviews. That's really where it starts. And if you don't have a product that does well in Amazon's ecosystem, meaning it needs to be able to go into their fulfillment houses and hold up in the heat in the summer. It needs to be a little durable to get out to customers and still have a good experience. All those things. Then no trickery, no ad spend is going to get you there, especially with how smart Amazon's got about cracking down on negative reviews or on fake reviews and all that stuff. So I'd say that's where you absolutely have to start. And then, trickling some quality, some smart ad spend on top of that is what we do. So we do focus the majority of our ad spend on Amazon versus spreading that around on Facebook and Instagram. And that's, we've seen that that's sort of the flywheel that Amazon then starts to boost us more organically as we're spending and as we're converting more. And you pay attention to those key metrics. You look at your conversion rate because Amazon's definitely looking at that. They're looking at your star rating, and you pay very close attention to those. And then you will start to filter up and bubble up in their results.
Yeah, and it's interesting, with Amazon. I guess our experience has been different because there's FBA, fulfillment by Amazon, then there's FBV, fulfillment by vendors. and literally getting into the warehouse is so crucial. Unfortunately, we're perishable, so we cannot get into their warehouse. We have to ship it ourselves. The one thing that at least we've experienced, I don't know if you've experienced this, how are they on pricing, right? If you're priced higher than another bar, because we've had challenges where we're priced higher than other smoothies, other coconut waters, since we're a plant-based smoothie with coconut. Are they cracking down on the fact that if you have more premium ingredients and a higher price, have they asked you to lower prices, or what happened there?
No, I would say you're spot on. This is something we actually learned in the last couple of months. So we were always priced about $2.50 a bar, like more like an adult protein bar. What we learned was that really, it makes sense from our end, but what we learned, and Whole Foods taught us this actually, which was that a mom going into the category and shopping was not going to tolerate that price for a kid's snack. And so what I've been telling people is, like, I don't believe there's any such thing as premium or super premium in the kids snack category, especially when they're comparing it to, Cliff bars, which are whatever, 50 or 60 cents a bar. Mm-hmm. So we actually made a sort of a pivot in strategy in going away from being such a specialty item and more towards, hey, we're still going to be priced more than every other kids bar, but we at least need to be in the ballpark. And that's something that we're going through with Whole Foods right now. But what I did in the meantime is I did pretty drastically lower our prices on Amazon by about 20% 3 months ago. And for the past 2 consecutive months, we've been up about 25% each month over month. Yeah. So, I do think it's tough as a premium product to tell your story on Amazon. I do think their algorithm prioritizes lower priced items. Yep. And I think it's just like anything else. You got to look at your category and what, the competition is. I mean, that's one lesson that I've had recently was like trying to get out of your own head so much about your product and why you think it's great, and zoom out and really, really understand the category and take your personal self out of it and look at what your consumer would see when they approach the category. And for us, it was like, man, our bars are in 4-packs in Whole Foods and they're priced at $8.99. And, Z bars, they've got 6 bars and they're whatever, $4.99. It's just going to be tough sell. So that's been a huge learning experience for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge balancing act, right? Because obviously the cost of your ingredients are higher, so you have to have a certain price point in order to get the margin to be sustainable as a business, right? To get enough gross margin, enough profit, and reinvest it back into the company. But then if you're priced too high, then you price yourself out of the market and you don't have sales. Yeah. So it's a real difficult balancing act, right? That it's like the most telltale issue that any brand has when you're starting out is, do you drop the price, you lose out on margin and profit to grow the brand, or do you start high and get the margin and profit, but your sales are not going to be as strong, right?
And I think that depends on so many factors too. You know, what your funding situation is and what your category is too. I mean, we're bootstrapped, so we're self-funded. I haven't raised any money for this, and so on the one hand, you'd say, well, if you don't have the cash to really lower your margin, then you might need to. But we were just not seeing the growth that we wanted to see at the price point that we were at, and so the way I'm thinking about right now, and I mean, I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on this, which is like, if I have a viable path to be where I want to be kind of cost of goods wise, I may not be there today, but if I know what my ingredients are, and I know what the cost will be when we get to a certain margin and we're, factoring in distribution and stuff like that. And if I have a story there that makes sense, then I'm okay in the short term taking less margin. That's the way I'm thinking about it right now. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it's a great subject and question. So Reid, I 100% agree. The fact is that you want to grow a brand. Again, it depends on the category, right? And it also depends on the uniqueness of your product, right? Yeah. I mean, one of my friends, we had her on the show. She did an edible cookie dough that was very different from anything else, and it's very filling and dense. And she gets away with charging $10 because cookie dough, edible cookie dough, is a very young, nascent category. And there's only like one other one that's at like $8, and then the premium ice cream's at $7. So it's not a big jump, right? And it's also a unique product. But when we're talking about something that's more saturated, right, like an energy bar, even a kid's energy bar, which has become saturated, it's somewhat saturated, and you're talking about smoothies, plant-based, and coconut drinks, which is also saturated, you have to take it, in my opinion, take it on the chin to achieve growth. Because if you keep your price high forever, you've seen these brands that keep their price too high, they may get, they chug along, they get sales, but they never really grow to be a force. They never really grow to be a national big brand. And they can never go to MULO, which is like mass market. They can never go to conventional because there's just too much sticker shock. So I think for me, at least for us, the best strategy has been build the volume in natural, maybe with a mid price that's somewhat competitive, maybe a little higher. Once you get that scale and then lower your cost of goods sold, drop your price and then start going into conventional.
And then you can go to conventional,
where you can really compete, right? Like head to head with like the big juggernauts, right? Like for us, the Naked Juices or whatever. And then when you get to conventional, your scale goes up even more. Then you can start dropping your
reinforces
and so forth. And you can start dropping your prices across all categories, right? All different market segments. So I would say for your business, that's really, I think, the best strategy, and you're obviously doing that to get volume.
Yeah. And I think for a young company too, like you've got to have a compelling story. I mean, I'm viewing this as like, at some point we're going to have to take on outside investment to grow this into a national brand, which is what I would like to do. And if that's the case, you've got to have a compelling story to tell about how you're growing and how your velocities are growing. And it's just, if you're dying on the hill of margin, but you're not growing, you're not going to attract interest from partners and investors. Exactly. And so I think the increasing velocity ends up solving a lot of your problems. Like, what do they say? Like, revenue covers up a lot of your issues and problems. I think that's the same sort of deal.
Exactly. And if you look at, the long term, right, which I'm not sure what your goals are, but as far as like M&As and, mergers and acquisitions, private equity, they're looking at growth. They're looking at revenue because they know that once they buy you, whether it's Coca-Cola, for you, Nestle, whoever that is, they know once they fold you in to their network of trucks and resources and salespeople, they're going to lower that cost right away, and then they're going to get profit and margin. The most valuable thing, I mean, margin is important. Don't get either of us wrong, but the most important thing in general is to build your brand and build store count and also velocity store by store. Yes. And if you don't have that kind of growth, you're never going to be a national brand. It'll be very hard to raise capital and also eventually be acquired if that is your goal. Yep. So it's really good stuff. So I want to go back to Amazon. One thing I want to, just touch on is that, so you're saying, because, and I know we have a few minutes here, that what I love about Amazon, I want your comments on this. I like how when you advertise on there, you're advertising the people that are already wanting to buy something, right? Like
yes.
that
intent marketing. Yeah.
Intent marketing. I didn't even know what the name was for that. And
I just made it up. So
there you go. I would have believed that was an established term in like some freaking sales book, you know? So, or by Gary V. Intent marketing. I could already see tomorrow he's going to be doing that. He's going to see this podcast and he'll be doing that with just like this with two hands. So, but if you think about the CAC, right, the cost of customer acquisition or customer acquisition cost, you know, when you're on Facebook and Google, you're driving people in, but they were not intending to shop, right? Like they were just going on Google and they found you, and they may get into your website, but they're not wanting to open up their wallet and buy anything.
Sure.
So I'm sure that's another great strategy, right, of being on Amazon is your costs must be much lower to acquire customers, I imagine. Yeah,
it is. And I mean, I think, again, you got to look at where you are as a brand. I think as you get older and more mature, you can afford to have a higher customer acquisition cost by going through those other channels, being more patient, you know, saying, okay, that's fine if they come from Facebook and they go to our website. That's step one. And then we're going to try and get their email. That's step two. And when I was first starting, I was like, I'm going to learn all this internet marketing thing, and I'm going to like get this dialed in and have like a 10-step funnel about how they come to our website and how they come to email. It just didn't work for us. It just, we didn't have, you know, a compelling enough product. We didn't have the time. We didn't have the money to do it. And so you're right. I think in the beginning, especially if your budget is limited, you've got to go as close to the customer as possible to spend your marketing dollars, like where they're about to purchase. And for us, that's Amazon. You know, it might be, if you're a retailer, you might have to think about how you spend money with that retailer or through other channels to get them to, it might be coupons, whatever it is, but where they're right there and you can actually afford to try and get that conversion immediately. I think that's super important, especially if you're a young brand.
Exactly. And on Amazon, and one other thing just to mention too, just the platform of Amazon makes it so much, especially fulfillment by Amazon, makes it so easy to get this product and so amazingly fast, like within a day on Prime. It's just these people, and they already have all their information saved in Amazon. All they do is click a button.
Well, and you get subscribe and save automatically through there too. I mean, that's part of the reason why we decided to focus on this, because when you look at our conversion rates, I mean, they were like 5 to 10 times higher on Amazon than they were on our website. You know, it's like, so it's just like huge. You know, website it's 2%, on Amazon it can be 15 to 20% that hit your detail page. So it's like, you know, where you got to think about where you're going to spend your money and what has the highest leverage in the beginning. And so, you know, we should mention though, I will say sort of, there is a risk in this strategy, which is you're really relying on Amazon. And there's been a time or two when I've went to go check our dashboard and all of a sudden our listings are suppressed and something has happened, or, you know, and your sales can go to zero. So you've got to, it's not a strategy that I would recommend staying in for a super prolonged period of time. Like you should really try and diversify your channel to the extent possible. But again, in the beginning as a brand, you don't have an option. You just need to go to where the most important thing is, you know, proving your value proposition out and getting customers and getting reorders. So that's, I think, where you should start.
Yeah, this is great advice. I'm glad we're recording this. For you know, if Mark forgot to hit the record button, I'd be very upset right now. Not only for our guests, but also for you know, for me personally. So anyway, so let's get into our next segment because we are running out of time here. This is called Rapid Fire Questions. Rapid Fire Questions. All right. As Arnold Schwarzenegger says in Kindergarten Cop, I ask you a bunch of questions and I want a bunch of answers. All right. So here we go.
Let's do it.
NSYNC or Backstreet Boys?
Which one's saying bye, bye, bye?
That would be NSYNC.
All right. Let's go with NSYNC.
Yeah, it was
funny.
The
song I remember from that time period.
I don't blame you. Everything else was blocked out. So first thing you do, it's trauma. So you want to block out most of those songs. First thing you do when you wake up?
I meditate. I'm a big meditator. So I go downstairs. I go into my garage, which is my cave, and I do a meditation.
Love it. I can definitely tell, man. You're very in the moment, focused, and present. So it's great.
Oh, thank you.
Movie you can watch an unlimited amount of times?
Forrest Gump.
Love it. Song you can listen
Forrest
to.
Gump.
Yeah, that one's like, it's funny. I remember seeing, have you seen the movie The Big Sleep? Anyway, long story short,
no, but I know I'm familiar with it. Yeah.
the girl that was in the coma and she was dating an Indian
Yes.
guy, and there was like this cultural clash. I remember Ray Romano was in it, and he's like, people are crazy. People are crazy. I mean, I go online and I look at the reviews for Forrest Gump, and they're like, people that hate the movie. How the frick can you hate Forrest Gump? I don't know why. That's what came to my mind when he said Forrest Gump.
By the way, that Ray Romano is spot on. I don't know if you practice that, but that's pretty good.
I used to be an impersonator for Kermit the Frog, and I figure his voice and Ray Romano's are very similar, so it kind of crosses over.
That's awesome. Okay.
So,
hello,
hello, Miss Piggy. All right. We're doing voices here. We're doing voices. And it also crosses over to Barney from The Simpsons, right? Hey, Homer, I like to get a beer. All right. Favorite sport to watch? I'm
baseball.
cracking you up right now.
Dude, now that you said the Kermit the Frog thing, I was like, dude, that's perfect. I can see you dominating Kermit the Frog.
Oh, totally. I crush Kermit the Frog. I crush it. Crushing Kermit. K, like crush with a K and Kermit with a K.
Have you thought about it? I mean, I guess you're already moonlighting, but moonlighting after this as like a Kermit the Frog impersonator at the Comedy Store. I mean, I think you crush.
I have much bigger dreams. I want to be a voiceover actor for a Disney movie, right? That's the big goal. No, maybe. Right. Yeah, no one knows if I'm serious about that or not. But all right, next one: Zoom, Microsoft Teams, or Google Meet. Which one do you like?
I gotta say Google Meet. My wife works at Google, so I've been trained to say that.
Love it.
I don't actually have a preference. I don't do many video meetings, but every single one I ever try has a problem. So actually, this was pretty seamless. So I'll go with whatever this is. I think it's something different, though.
This is called Customized Manhattan Beach Studios Software by Mark Nick. It's called Mark Nicholas Software Integration Technology. So
sign me up. I'm his first customer right there.
Love it, Mark. You got a point on the board. All right. What is your and good thing you said Google Meet, because when your wife watches this, she'll be very mad if you didn't say Google Meet. So.
Oh, she's not watching this. I told her I was going on the Joe Rogan Experience, so she thinks I'm on with Joe Rogan right now. She doesn't know. She doesn't know who you are, so it's not worth it doesn't give me any street cred.
Hey, I'm the next Joe Rogan, so there we go. Yeah. All right. So, what is your spirit animal?
Oh. Is there something I'm big in like perseverance and hard work and kind of I'll say the hedgehog.
The hedgehog.
Okay. Isn't the hedgehog known? Wasn't there like that guy wrote that book about the hedgehog concept, and it was like something about just putting your head down and keeping with it longer than anyone else. I think I have that right. So I'm gonna go with the hedgehog.
Okay, I did not know that. Very cool. Window seat or aisle seat on an airplane?
Aisle seat.
Peanut butter or almond butter, or neither?
Peanut butter, and anybody tells you almond butter is lying.
I love almond butter, and
more than peanut butter?
I think I'm lying. Yeah. More than peanut butter? See, I'm looking up to the right, psychology, lying. All right. Omnivore, flexitarian. I love freaking peanut butter. My system likes almond butter better. But when I'm eating almond butter, I imagine that it's peanut butter.
There you go. Okay,
yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah, it's the best I can do. Omnivore, flexitarian, vegetarian, or vegan?
I am a vegetarian. Recently I've been a vegetarian for about a year.
Welcome to the tribe. Enjoy your kale.
Oh, you're okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm vegetarian, plant-based, everything. Yep. I feel great. I run 10 miles almost every day. Fuels me.
Do you?
Yep.
So I'm all right. I used to do triathlons and endurance sports as well. So I do a lot of cycling and running as well. That's impressive. 10 miles a day that's a lot of miles.
I'm actually planning maybe to do a run from LA to San Francisco, like up the coast one of these days.
So if you're into that type of stuff, I did a 50 milers, the longest one I've ever done, but wow. I love the pain, suffering thing. I'm serious. If you do something like that, I'd be interested in doing something like that.
Awesome, man. Let's do it. That'd be awesome to get like a group, like just Forrest Gump it
And we could bring
up the coast.
Yeah, exactly. And we'd have coconut water, we'd have coconut smoothies, we'd have Zeek bars, we'd have all the best products for support along the way. So I think it's a good idea.
Loaded up. We were loaded up with everything we need. We don't even have to buy anything. We just get it from our warehouse, right?
Yeah, there you go.
I'm sure there's an Amazon warehouse on the way. We can just like take some from them.
Multiple, I'm sure.
There's one every like 50 feet. All right. So cold weather or hot weather?
Hot weather.
LeBron James or MJ?
LeBron. Of my generation, so why not?
Yep. Yeah, don't blame you, man. So I'm sorry, but I don't blame you. Ginger or turmeric?
I don't do much of either. I guess I get ginger in smoothies sometimes. I'll go with ginger.
There you go. And then favorite food or drink if you're stuck on a deserted island. You cannot say Genius Juice and you cannot say Zeek bar.
I eat the same thing for breakfast every morning, so I'll go with that, which is like a big bowl of oatmeal with some fruit and some nuts in it, if that counts as one type of thing. Because I eat the same thing, and somehow I'm not sick of it. So I figure that must mean something. I could probably live off if I needed to. There's lots of water in there, so I guess oatmeal makes sense.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, it's like the hedgehog thing, right? You just, you do it, even if it's repetitive, you keep going. Just keep going, right? I was thinking of Sonic the Hedgehog when you brought that up.
Dude, after this, I'm gonna have to Google. I gotta Google the hedgehog thing and see if that's a thing or not. I hope I didn't just totally. I'm
sure it is. They're pretty determined, and that Sonic the Hedgehog guy, he's pretty freaking fast.
Yeah, he's
very determined too. So
yeah,
he wants those rings. Hedgehogs, they collect rings, right? Don't they? In real life.
Yeah, something like that. They fly through the sky and they avoid the Wario guy. Yeah, those are those things.
That's exactly what they do. That's where it's based on a real story, All right, so that is rapid fire questions with Reid Pearson, co-founder, CEO of Zeek Bar. I know we got off topic a lot. That's what happens when there's several interviews in a day. But this was a lot of fun, super informative, learned a lot. Thanks for being on, man, and let's get that run going. So we'll definitely talk offline about it, dude. But you have a wonderful night.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, hey, you too, and thanks for doing what you're doing. I've been watching all your episodes, so awesome work, man.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that, Reid. All right, have a good night, buddy.
All right, see you, bro.
All right, so that is episode 97 of 15 Minutes of Genius. Almost to 100. We're so close. 3 episodes away. We got a very special guest for episode 100, so make sure to tune in for that. It's going to air 3 episodes after this one. So that's all I can say. So anyway, episode 97 in the books. Big plug to Mark Nicholas, Mark Ennem at admeetstudios.net for all your editing desires. Here is everything here. Make sure to email him. He's awesome. And one last thing. Stay genius, my friends. Genius for life. Coconut smoothies coming at you.